Okay, go ahead. Go for it, Roland Walker. It's some 10 minutes after 7. It's all about the District Assembly elections here on our show this morning because today is the election day. Roland wanted to say something?
Nope.
Okay. All right. We've got the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security joining us on the phone, David Agbe. In a little bit, we also understand that the police is on high alert as Assembly elections begin today. So with just minutes to the District Assembly and Units Committee polls, police say they are on high alert to forestall any trouble. Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, Surface Arthur, says although the elections do not command the same level of seriousness as the presidential and parliamentary elections, they are poised to deal with any security breach. That's one angle of what's happening today. Also, we know that some persons have also said that assembly polls will be more attractive if combined with the national elections. Yesterday here on our show, there was a call to make today a holiday, a public holiday, but as it is right now, it is not a public holiday. So how many people would go out there to want to vote? If we have David Agbe on the phone lines, do we? Okay. Ms. Agbe, good morning to you. Thanks for your time.
Yes, good morning, Mama V.
I hope you're well, Mr. Agbe.
Yes.
We thank God.
We are all poised to go and cast our vote as far as the District Assembly election is concerned.
Sure. But today is Tuesday. It's a serious working day. How many of us would really want to go out there and go and vote and come back to our offices?
Yes, thank you very much, Mama V. I think that your job, what you're doing now, as soon as you close from your duty post, you have to go and cast your vote. The voting will actually start this morning and end maybe at 5 o'clock. So could you sit for almost about 8 hours without, getting out? As soon as you get out, from your seat, you have to go and cast your vote. So it is part of our civic responsibility. So we should take it, upon ourselves that let's go out there to go and express our franchise. District level election actually is an entry point to democratic governance that we have in this country. It is an entry point. So if we just say that it is not, important, it is not necessary, and so we are not, having that enthusiasm to vote, then along the line, our democracy that we keep on talking about will fall short. Every 4 years, it should be part of our mandate. It should be part of an obligation such that we will go and express our franchise at our district level. That is the beginning of democracy. And so let's nurture the people. Let's try to encourage everybody to go in there to cast their vote. It is important that we do that.
But the difficulty is today is not a holiday. It's a working day. If you lived in Tema and work in Accra, if you live in Kaswa, if you live in Ashoman, and you look at the traffic situation that we have here in the capital, would you want to go back home, cast your votes, and return to the office? That's not a reality, is it?
I agree with your question, and I think that is a feeling. That is what everybody is saying. But do we want to practice democracy? Do we want development at our area? Do we need, assemblymen who could also, police our area to actually elect or alert our city authorities, whatever is happening within our community? Look at the issue that actually triggered recently at Amankro and all those areas. If we should have, if we should have an assemblyman, policing, around the area, taking the concerns of their fellow, all those issues could have been, reported to the police earlier on. So we should accept the fact that district level election is also crucial. It is also important that we should focus our attention on it. It says it all that every 4 years you will see almost about 50% of us, showing that sense of concern of expressing our vote and telling each other that yes, the district level election is also important. But now it looks as if everybody is saying, oh, it is, we don't want to go in there. It's waste of time here and there. Meanwhile, we need development at our, local level.
Hello, Ms. Agbe. Okay, we seem to have lost him on the phone. David Agbe, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, hi, you're back on. We can hear you now.
Yes. So I was saying that let's encourage everybody. And in this game, the media is a powerful tool. Let's use the media. Let's use all the TV stations, the radio stations to encourage every Ghanaian that it is part of our responsibility. It is once we need development, at our local level. I mean, let's start the process. Let's hit the ground running. Let's go in there and also elect, our assemblymen, such that they can also, go to our various districts. It is more like a form of parliamentary democracy. The district level election is a preparatory ground to jump a lot of people. Look at people like Parkwesi Indu, for instance. He started as an assemblyman. You could see, our current president was also an assemblyman at a point in time. So it is a preparatory ground for a lot of people to nurture themselves to become giant politicians in this country. So we should not say that it is not important. We should take it as part of a learning process. We should accept it that it is part of our democracy, governance that we are looking for. We don't want that authoritarian governance again. We want democracy. And so democracy, whilst we need it, voting is part of the critical kernel of preparing ourselves towards, the democracy that we want. So
let me take you to certain areas where there won't be elections at all, either because of an injunction or because the people are threatening not to vote. So the assembly member for Tanokrom Western, the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis, for instance, he secured an injunction on the process after he was disqualified by the Electoral Commission. In another area, somewhere in Kumasi, Kumasi High Court has also placed an injunction on the elections in Dichem, so following an application by a disqualified applicant. But you come to certain areas like Bimbela in the northern region where residents are threatening to boycott the elections. And then I'll take you again to another place where they've invoked some cases on the Electoral Commission workers and anybody who would go there this morning to say that they are conducting an election. And that place is in the Bono-Hafu region, where residents of Nkoranza North and South have asked the EC not to step foot in the area to conduct the polls. What does all these mean?
In fact, for Nkoranza North and Nkoranza South, I think that the people over there, they should, respect the fact that we've moved on. And especially that our First Lady comes from that environment. We expect them to actually respect their own daughter. Such that they will not be doing some of these things, old age, cases here and there and all that. We don't need it now. Ghana has actually moved on, so we should adapt ourselves. We should be able to change. We should be able to transform ourselves where we will know that, rule of law is the order of the day. Good governance is what we are talking about. We are not at those age that we have to be talking about cases here and there. It is not good. In terms of Kumasi, Dichemso area there, you realize that the gentleman has actually challenged the Electoral Commission, but has the gentleman done what is acceptable as far as our district level election is concerned? I know that gentleman very well. He has been an assemblyman for quite a reasonable period of time at that place. But the Electoral Commission is also saying that, yes, you didn't do what they expected him to do. And so we should also learn from, we should be able to learn and accept the fact that we can't operate within our own backyard and be laughing. We have to respect what Electoral Commission, says or what Electoral Commission put out there. Why do you have to go and use a certain political party emblem, colors here and there, to signify, to point to the fact that you belong to this political party and you have a certain allegiance to the political party.
Okay.
While the Electoral Commission, also informs you that nobody should do that, until maybe they make it quite obviously political, where you could associate yourself with NDC.
Ms. Agbe, you have to hang on for us. Let's cross over and speak to the Acting Public Affairs Director of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Christian Owusu-Parry, who's joined us on the telephone. Mr. Parry, good morning. Thank you so much for your time. Are we ready for these elections today?
Yes, we are ready for the elections today. We started distributing materials to the polling stations in the early hours of the day. And a lot of the polling stations already have their voting materials, and voting has started. So the commission is ready for today's poll.
So how about the areas where there is an injunction? You can talk about the Tanochrome situation, and then
well, in all the areas where there is injunction of the elections, we are not voting today until the court clears the way for us to go and hold the election. So we are respecting the court orders, and we are not holding elections in those electoral areas.
There's a special situation in Nkoranza, that's in the Bunahafu region, where the people are threatening to invoke cases if they haven't already on some of your offices. How are you dealing with that situation?
Well, we picked information from the District Security Task Force and the Regional Security Task Force that some youth were planning to disrupt the process if it should come on today. So the Regional Security and the District Security advised the Commission not to carry on with the elections in the two districts today, specifically in Nkoranza North and in Nkoranza South District. So we heeded the advice of the security, and we decided that the elections will not take place in those two districts today.
How about Bimbila in the northern region? The residents are also threatening to boycott the process.
Well, I am unaware of anything happening in Bimbila. It has not officially come to our attention, so no decision has been made on Bimbila. That means the process will go on today in Bimbila.
How much is it costing the EC to conduct these elections?
Well, we put that out when the former chairman of the commission appeared before Parliament. We said that the whole election process was to cost this nation some 310 million Ghana cedis, but because the preparations were put on hold, in fact, annulled by the Supreme Court in March, we needed an extra 90 million to bring the process to a close. So we're talking about some close to 400 million cedis for the entire exercise.
So for these areas where there won't be elections, what would it mean? I mean, that should be costing you extra money, right?
For those areas, we have already printed the ballot papers, and depending on when the security will indicate to us that in the Nkoranza area in particular, we can go and hold the elections, we can still use those ballot papers. In the Bichemso and the one in the Tependi Chapra, the metropolis, we're sure that it will not take too long for the court to make a determination. So once the court determines, we'll go there and hold the elections.
I'm told that somewhere in Koforidua High Court also put an injunction on the process in Akuse,
well, in all the places where there is injunction, we're not holding elections there.
Okay, so I take it that this has come to your attention then.
We are quite sure that it won't take too long for the court to make a declaration.
A lot of people were pushing, I don't know if you were pushing as well, for today to be declared a public holiday so a lot of people could go out there and vote. What are your expectations in terms of voter turnouts?
Well, with the kind of publicity that we have done and the education and interaction that we've had with community-based groups, the street announcements that we've undertaken, we have said that turnout will be encouraging. Let me say that the turnout at the district level elections over the past years has not been very encouraging. But I think gradually Ghanaians are beginning to appreciate the importance of the assembly system, especially if you followed our preparations before the elections were stopped in March. You would have noticed that people were getting very much involved in the process, and there was kind of enthusiasm on the part of the electorate to go and vote for people they consider to be capable. I believe that the enthusiasm has not waned and that they still have on their minds people that they think can bring development to their electoral areas, people who can represent them effectively at the assembly from their electoral areas. So we expect people will go out and exercise their franchise.
Mr. Osupari, my colleague Roland Walker is coming through with a question, so just hang on for him.
There was a press conference that was convened by the minority in Parliament, and succinctly what they wanted to put out was the fact that they had issues with the current register, and so they thought it would not be prudent for it to be used for the current election. What do you say about that?
It is the register that is available to us. No court has said the register is not credible, so we should throw it away. And once the register has not been thrown away and it is the register that is available to us, the elections must come on. So we are using the register that is available.
If the parties tend to have problems with it, you don't think that you should also be perhaps considering the concerns that they have?
In other words, you are suggesting that we shouldn't hold any elections in this country until issues of the register have been addressed. We cannot say that the assembly should continue to be to be without the assemblymen who matter so much in decision making in the assemblies until the party's concerns about the register are resolved. No. We use the same register for the Talensi by-election, and we didn't have any complaints. So if we're using it for the district assembly elections, I do not think that it is out of place.
What does the commission make of the fact that even though the intent of the whole district level election is not to make it partisan, for example, you go around, sometimes you get to look at some of the posters of colors that tend also to perhaps liken them to some of the parties around?
Yes, well, we made it clear to all the candidates that where we have evidence that somebody is using the colors of a political party or campaign slogan of a party or a logo of a party, the commission would cancel the nomination of that particular candidate. Indeed, we had cause to cancel some nomination because of the use of colors of political parties. It's the reason why some of the people have gone to court, but we leave that to the court to determine. But anywhere we have evidence that somebody is using political party colors, we have acted on it.
Can somebody who is a registered member of a political party participate in this very election as a candidate?
Nothing bars a member of a political party from contesting the district assembly election. Indeed, the chairman of a political party in a constituency or at whatever level can decide that he wants to contest elections to the district assembly. but he presents himself as an individual and not as a party candidate. And he does not campaign in the name of the party or use the party's emblem, logo, or any symbol connected to the party. So the fact that he is a member of the party does not bar him from contesting the district level election.
It's an interesting point you make, Mr. Usupari. Now, if we take a scenario, a hypothetical one, where somebody who, as you are proposing, a chairman of a political party, again hypothetically, decides to campaign for his position or to be elected, so to speak, in the district level election, and does that non-partisanly, but during the same day or perhaps some few hours later goes to stand on a political party platform to undertake an activity for his political party. How do you just oppose such scenarios?
Insofar as he's undertaking a party political activity and does not link that up with his campaign for election to the Assembly, I do not think that there is anything wrong with that. If he mounts the platform and says, I am XYZ, the constituency chairman of the party, I am contesting for the district assembly election, on the basis of that, vote for me, then he is campaigning in the name of the political party. And if the evidence is made available to us, we'll act on it.
Well, he doesn't do that directly, does that indirectly, and especially a few hours apart and in the same locality, perhaps even just a few meters apart.
You see, when you are disqualifying somebody, there should be a clear basis for the disqualification. So if you cannot prove that the person is campaigning in the name of the party, how can you say that you are disqualifying him merely because he had appeared at a political party event?
Well, I get your point. It makes a lot of sense in that respect, though. And so ultimately, you're hoping that how many people will be contesting in this very election?
Well, I don't have the statistics with me this morning, but some 43,000 and over, so 43,885, I suppose, are contesting the unit committee elections, and some 18,000 plus candidates are contesting the district assembly election.
Okay. Because I'm asking this because among the many thousands of numbers you mentioned as candidates are some ones that you have difficulties with because you flouted the rules and so you've cancelled them. How many of them are they?
Well, the indication I have is that some 42 people were disqualified altogether. That's the information I have from the elections department.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Just before you go, are we considering combining the district level elections? Is it on the table with the main elections, the parliamentary and presidential, sometime?
Well, that will require a constitutional amendment. You know, the Constitution says the two elections must be held at least 6 months apart. So until that particular provision of the Constitution is amended, we cannot even consider holding the two elections on the same day.
All right. Mr. Christian Owusu-Parry, we're grateful for your time this morning. That's the Acting Public Affairs Director at the Electoral Commission, Christian Owusu-Parry, joining us. We'll have to quickly go to Michaela Anderson because she is somewhere again, and she's going to tell us what's happening if elections, the voting processes have started. So, Michaela, where are you and what can you report? Hello, Michaela, if you can hear me, I'm asking where you are and what you can report at this time. In that, these are visuals from St. Kizito Catholic School, and that's where Michaela Anderson is stationed right now. She would soon be coming through to tell us exactly what we're watching on the screens.
And again, we would want to run by you that over 40,000 or 45,000 candidates will be taking place and will be taking part in this very election, with over 18,000 polling stations scheduled to be the venues for people to go to their various electoral areas to go and vote. In the meantime, though, just in case, well, you may not be interested to go and vote, please try and whet your appetite to go and vote. It is not a holiday, but you may try as much as possible to find some time off work to make sure you go and vote. And in total, we have 18,938 candidates who are contesting, and these numbers are male, 17,785, and over 1,000, yes, over 1,000 are female. For the unit committee elections, we'll have 43,000, and only 1/3 of these candidates are also female. Again, we should tell you that they make up the various assemblies, and they have presiding members. And for many of you in your communities, you would want to refer to them as presiding officers, and they take the decisions. We have Mikala Anderson back on the line, and she is giving us a live feed from the St. Kizito School and Catholic Church here at Nima in Accra.
And pick up. We are told the event will start at 7, but it's almost 7:30, and the officers are now getting ready for the exercise. I'll be speaking to the presiding officer here shortly, but I'm told 7 people are contesting the assembly membership slot. I have here the presiding officer, Simon. His name is Enes Simon, and he will be telling us how prepared they are for this morning's exercise and why the exercise has delayed. So I have here Simon. Good morning. So tell us, we are told the exercise will start at 7, but it's almost 7:30.
Precisely, the election is supposed to start at 7, right? As a normal circumstances, there are issues that crop up. Presiding officers are supposed to pick their ballot boxes around 6 a.m. in the morning.
So what caused the delay?
What will I say? I don't know. Some of them could not even identify where they are supposed to work. They don't know their police stations, I presume. That is, yeah.
So it's going to affect today's exercise, because if you're supposed to start at 7 and you're starting almost 7:30.
Oh, normally, elections supposed to start at 7, right? But when it starts around 10 in the morning, when it's exactly 5, they're supposed to close. Yes.
And how many candidates are contesting?
We have 7 candidates contesting for Nima East electoral area.
Okay, and what's your expectation for today's exercise?
Oh, normally when such elections, it's a dull election, if I like to say.
Why? Why do you call it dull?
Oh, normally, previously, it goes that way. As at 7 now, nobody is here to vote. So that is what we are all aiming at. But at the end of the day, we want them to come out and vote.
Well, what has accounted for this low patronage?
I can't tell.
Is it because of the publicity? Publicity has not gone down well with the people?
Normally, the publicity has gone down. People decide to vote or not. When the publicity has gone high, I can decide not to vote or not to vote.
Why do you think people are not interested in this year's assembly selection?
Precisely, I cannot talk to them. Yeah, they decide what they do. But when it's a general election, you see a pact. Yes.
And you have no idea why it is so?
I don't. It's a personal issue, so I don't have idea for those.
You don't want to share the personal idea with us?
I will do that now.
Okay, but I can also say that there is heavy police presence here, and they are waiting to ensure law and order in this place during the exercise.